Hey there, I'm TJ with Hapn, and we would like to welcome you on board. This video is part one of a two-part video series on how to get started with Hapn. In part one, the video you're currently watching, we'll talk about how the hardware, about how the trackers work. We'll talk about how they connect to the internet. We'll talk about low battery alerts. We'll talk about their batteries in general, different types of connections, reporting modes, how GPS works, what the lights of your trackers mean, the SOS button, and then finally, we'll go over some things about where to go if you need help. Then, in part two, we'll talk about the software. We're going to talk about how the apps themselves work. Now, there is a link down below in the menu if you'd like to go ahead and hop over to video 2 right now. All right, with that, let's get started talking about how your trackers work so we can make sure that you're getting the maximum benefit of your tracking experience right away. So first off, we want to talk about cellular connectivity. Your trackers are connected to the internet via a SIM card. Now, what does this mean? Well, it means that they can track pretty much from anywhere in the world without being close to a cellular phone or a Wi-Fi connection. This is very different from a Bluetooth tracker like the Tile or an AirTag, which require you to be in very close proximity to a phone in order for those trackers to work. Our trackers have an independent connection to the internet. That means you can set them and therefore track them from just about anywhere. Now let's move on to the batteries in your device. This is a very important part. Now, some of our trackers, like our popular real-time tracker or our longer-term asset trackers, are battery powered. So a GPS tracker is fundamentally different from some everyday battery-powered devices that you might use, such as your cell phone. So phones are designed to be with you at all times. So if that battery gets low, you simply plug it into the wall and it charges, and that's it. It's ready to go again. GPS trackers are the opposite. They're designed to be away from you. So when that battery gets low, you might be 100 miles away and unable to reacquire it and charge that battery quickly. So that's why we recommend that you don't let that battery charge get too low. You risk losing the location of what you're tracking if the battery dies, and that's just about the worst thing that can happen to a GPS tracker. Now, we don't want you to have the anxiety that comes with a low battery, so we've given you a lot of options to extract the maximum out of your batteries, and these options allow you to react to changing situations involving your tracking. Now, one really powerful option, arguably the most important option, is reporting modes. Each type of tracker has several reporting modes that give you control over how the tracker behaves and how it updates. Let's use the real-time tracker, our most popular item, as an example. So the real-time tracker by default is designed to update every 3 hours when it's stopped in order to preserve its internal battery. Now when it moves, as soon as it gets going, it's going to update every minute. This mode is called normal mode, and that's how it's going to work by default out of the box when you receive it. But let's say you need it to update faster when it's moving. Well, you've got two different modes to choose from. First, there is the fast mode, which updates every 30 seconds when it's moving, and then that same every 3 hours when it's stopped. It's a very good balanced mode. We also have performance mode, which pings and updates every 5 seconds when moving, then every 3 hours when stopped. This gives you the most real-time experience when you're following a tracker in the map. It's very smooth and it's very fast. Just know that the faster that tracker updates, the quicker the battery dies, which is why we give you our next mode, which lets you dial all that back in order to save battery life. It's called power saving mode. In power saving mode, you can set your tracker to update every 1, 3, 6, 12, or even once a day, regardless of whether it's moving or not. It'll report at that set interval no matter what. Now, this is ideal when you don't need to actively track something or when you're already running low on battery. Now, our trackers that don't have batteries, our OBD trackers, our hardwired devices, they also have reporting modes. But these are mainly used to control where you want predictable updates at set intervals, or you simply want to track as fast as possible. In these cases, batteries are no longer an issue, so it's more about data or speed. Now, how do you change those reporting modes? Well, we made it super easy for you, and it's all in the app. If you head to the tracker settings in your application, with a single click, you can swap between all of those reporting modes, and you can change as many times as you need. It's all included with every active device. Now, in the cases where your battery does get low, we have a built-in low battery alert that will notify you. And you can customize how early you want to receive that low battery alert. 50%, 20, 10, 5%, whatever percentage of battery works best for you. You can also set how you want to be notified of that low battery. Text, push notification, email, we can do it all. The low battery alert and our other alerts like speeding, entering or exiting boundaries, SOS, these are all available in your app settings. Which brings us to the next sort of point we want to talk about, and that is what to expect from GPS itself. So GPS is different from cellular or Wi-Fi or Bluetooth in that GPS requires access to open skies so that it can connect to the GPS satellite network. Well, what does this mean for you in practice? Well, it means your tracker is not designed to work indoors or inside metal enclosures that might block that GPS signal. When your tracker loses GPS connection, it might still have access to the cellular network, and when that happens, it's only going to tell you its last known position. This is the most up-to-date location that the tracker has access to. Now, there is no need to panic. As soon as the tracker gets access to open skies again, it will automatically reconnect to the GPS network and get you an updated location. It's really as simple as that. All right, now on to the lights on your trackers. So what do those mean? Well, let's take it, for example, the real-time tracker. There are 3 lights on the face of the device. You can see them on, I believe, the left side there. Red is for your power. It lets you know the device is on and when it's charging, whether it's full or not. Lets you keep up with that battery. Then the blue light is for the GPS connection. It gives you an indication of the current GPS connectivity. Green is for cellular connection. That lets you know if you have an active connection to the internet via the SIM card. Now, the big button on the middle of your tracker, well, that is your SOS button. If you press that button for 2 seconds, it will send you an SOS alert by text message, push notification, email, or however you choose. It's a super helpful little feature. Now, finally, where can you go to get additional help? Well, for one, you can play this and any of our other Getting Started videos as many times as you need directly from our app menu. Now, they're also going to be linked in our company YouTube channel as well as the Help Center next to all of our other articles and tutorials about getting going and using Hapn. And if you're running into any additional troubles, well, you can simply head over to our website, go to the support section, and start a chat with our very helpful expert agents. All right, let's summarize what we've talked about here in part 1 of Getting Started with Hapn. We talked about how your trackers utilize an independent connection to the internet using a SIM card via the cell network. We talked about how important it is for you to stay on top of the battery of your devices. We can't let that battery die. We talked about multiple reporting modes, normal, fast, performance, and power saving that allow you to tailor your trackers. We mentioned the low battery alert, which ensures that that battery doesn't die. We talked about how you have to give the trackers access to open skies so that they can see the GPS satellites. We talked about what the LEDs on your tracker mean. We talked a little bit about the SOS button and what it can do. And then finally, we talked a little bit about where you can go to get additional help. These are the basics, just enough to be dangerous. And we look forward to what you find and what you can do with Hapn. Thank you so much for watching, and you can down below head on over to part 2 of the video. We're going to talk about the software. You're going to learn all about live tracking, follow mode, time machine, alerts, boundaries, and all the cool stuff in our applications. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.